Glub, glub. So, I'm going to be telling the Easter story. I'll cut out pictures of myself and paint Bible time clothes in them, and then I'll use them to interpret the story. By the way, this story is found in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, but I'm not sure if that's all the books they are found in, but whatever. The story starts on Palm Sunday. I'll leave it up to you to figure out what day of the week that is. Jesus and his 12 homies, or disciples as some people will call them, were approaching Jerusalem. They came to Bethphage, or whatever, on the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus was like, Yo, go to the village ahead and grab some donkeys. That is tied up. If some guy's all in your face like, what the heck, man, I need those donkeys, be like, chill, the Lord needs them. Then he'll be like, oh, that's cool, and you'll have a bunch of donkeys. Then bring them back here. This was all to fulfill what some prophet, Zechariah or something, had said a long time ago in the Bible. So 2 of the disciples were sent, and they came back with donkeys. They put their cloaks on the donkeys, and Jesus sat down. As they rode into Jerusalem, a bunch of Jesus' fans were like, OMG, Jesus, I love you! Then they threw their cloaks at him, and they ran out of cloaks, and they threw palm leaves at him. No, they were not trying to hit him, they just put them on the road so Jesus could walk on them. I think that's a fulfilled prophet too, I'm not sure though. Besides the OMG, Jesus, I love you! They also said Hosanna and some other stuff like that. There were some people who were like, what the heck, who is this guy coming into our town on these fancy donkeys or whatnot? And they were all like, it's Jesus, duh, he's from Nazareth, or something. So about 2 days before the Passover, the chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest. They're like, oh, we gotta find some way to kill Jesus or all the people will see us for the idiots we are, and we'll lose all our power, but we can't do it during the Passover or whatnot, although the people start forming mobs and riots and stuff. So then they started plotting. So then later, one of Jesus' most loyal homies, Judas Iscariot, came up. He's like, hey, I'll do it, but what do you give me for it? Then all the chief priests are like, oh, okay, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and eventually about 2 weeks later, no, probably about an hour or something, they came up with 30 silver pieces, and Jesus Iscariot's like, okay, I'll wait for an opportunity, and then I'll kiss him. That's one of those things that sounds really awkward when you foreshadow it. So the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread was coming up, and Jesus' homies came up to him and they were like, dude, Jesus, we need to find someone to book this party. And he's like, yo, go into town and you'll find this certain man and ask him, be like, oh, my Lord says, like, his homies and stuff need to go party your house. And he'll be like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, just, I'll show you this room and you can party in here and then you'll come back here and like stuff. And all the disciples did as Jesus just told them to do, and they prepared the Passover. So the evening came and Jesus was reclining with his 12, and he was like, you know, yo, I tell you, one of you is gonna betray me. And then they're all like, no, Lord, it can't be me. And then it comes to Judas Iscariot, you know, that one dude who's like totally faithful to Jesus and stuff. 30 silver, idiot. And then he's like, surely that Lord, it can't be me. And then Jesus is like, hey, stupid, it is you. So Jesus got off, he laughed, and all the disciples were like, oh, you dummy, and it was like really awkward. So then Jesus, he took this bread and he broke it, and he's like, yo, take this, eat it, it is my body. And then he took this cup, and he put some wine in it, and he's like, drink from it, all of you, this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many of the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until the day when I drink anew with you in my Father's kingdom. Then they all sung like this song or something, and then Jesus led them up to the Mount of Olives. So they got up to the Mount Olives, and Jesus was like, you will all fall away from me. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will be scattered. But after I've risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee. Peter's all like, no, Jesus, I won't betray you. Jesus like, heck yeah, Peter, you won't betray me. Before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. And Peter's like, no, Jesus, no, I won't. No, I won't. And then all the disciples are like, no, we won't either. So he went up to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to his homies, yo, sit down here, just sit down here, I need to go pray. So he took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to become very troubled. He said to them, stay here and keep watch. he went a little farther, and he fell to the ground. He was like, oh, geez, overcome and stuff. And he was like, oh, Abba, which means father. Oh, take this burden away from me. It's, oh my gosh, I don't want to die on a cross. It's gonna be rather painful, He's a good guy that's dying on a cross usually is and stuff. But if it be your will, then go on with it. So then he went back to those 3 homies that he left sleeping. He's like, Simon, he said to Peter, and he's like, are you asleep? Could you not keep for 1 hour? Watch and pray, for you do not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak. Your body is weak, lazy bones. So once more he went up to pray, and the same thing. He went back, he finds them sleeping again. And he's like, return for the 3rd time. And he's like, are you still sleeping and resting? Enough, the hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is betrayed in the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer, just Iscariot. While Jesus was going to this rage, Judas, that faithful servant, came up with that large crowd, armed with swords and clubs and stuff. He had arranged a signal, where he's going to kiss him. Going up to Jesus, Judas said, greetings, Rabbi, and he kissed him, and Jesus like, oh, Judas, just do what you came for. Then the men, stepped forward, and they, seized him, and they're like, oh, we got you now. But then one of Jesus' disciples came up with a sword. He's like, hi-ya, and he struck off one of his ears. Then Jesus looked at the disciple who had just done this, and he's like, hey, put that sword back. This is a no-no. I could call down 1,000 angels if I want, but no, I didn't, because we had to fulfill this prophet thingy. And then he put the dude's ear back on. Then Jesus turned around to the crowd, and he's all like, seriously, you have to bring all these weapons with you. Does it look like I'm hurting anybody? Am I leading a rebellion? No, well, except for that disciple who just cut off someone's ear. Well, that was about it, though. I come to the courts every day, and you don't arrest me there. But this is the fulfilled prophet. So then all the men arresting Jesus took him to the high priest. The only disciple that followed him was Peter, but at a distance. He came all the way to the courtyard where he stopped and warmed himself by a fire with all the guards and stuff. Then the chief priest and the whole Sanhedrin were false accusing Jesus. They were saying stuff like, we heard him say that he was going to destroy the temples. And then the high priest stood up and he asked Jesus, are you just going to sit there and say nothing? And then Jesus just sitting there, he's like, no response. And then the high priest again is like, are you the Christ, the Son of the Blessed One? And then Jesus is like, I am, and you will see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of the Mighty One coming down the clouds of heaven. Then the high priest tore his clothes and he was all like, blasphemy! He has spoken blasphemy! Look, you have heard the blasphemy! What do you think? And they're all like, put him to death! They spit on his face and they slapped him and they slugged him with their fists and they spit on him and just said that. So around the time this is happening, Peter is sitting in the courtyard still, and the servant girl comes up to him, and she's like, You were with Jesus of Galilee! And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he goes away out the gateway, and another girl saw him, and he's like, this fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth! And he's like, I don't know that man, I don't know him. After standing there for a while more, another person comes up to him, and he's like, your accent gives you away. You must be from Jesus and Galilee and stuff. And he's like, no, I don't know the man. I don't know the man. Immediately, this rooster crows, and then Peter remembers what Jesus said, and he's like, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And then he cried. So very early the next morning, the chief priests and the elders and all those people in the Sanhedrin and stuff, they bound Jesus together and they brought him to Pilate. And then Pilate's all like, are you the king of the Jews, as they say? He asked. And then Jesus is like, yes, it is as you say. He replied. And then the chief priests accused him of many things, and Pilate's all like, aren't you going to respond? And they're saying all these mean things about you, you gotta say something. But Jesus did not say anything, and Pilate's like, wow. Now, usually every year at the feast, they would release one prisoner. There was this one prisoner, besides Jesus, called Barnabas, who was in prison because he had killed someone during an uprising. And all the people, they wanted to release someone, so Pilate's like, okay, do you want me to release you, the king of the Jews? And, he knew it was out of envy that the chief priests were, bringing him up to him and stuff. But then the chief priest started stirring up the crowd to get them all to say, we want Barnabas, release Barnabas.
And then he's like, well, what do you want me to do with Jesus? And they're like, crucify him! And he's like, why? He hasn't done anything. And they're like, crucify him! And he's like, just, you know, just being a crowd pleaser like he was, Pilate's like, fine.
And I didn't really have time to finish the rest of it, so to be continued. Glub glub.